Now, in my adventures thus far through the apartment, I have indeed found the chainsaw is, not great against lying figures, especially in numbers. At least not on hard mode. Normal mode, I'm sure it drops them like anything. However, an enemy like the mannequin, that can't actually get back up and crawl away and all that kind of stuff, the chainsaw is really a good option against them if you can get the timing right. See? No problem. Thus, I'm sure if you can get the timing of using the chainsaw right, it's probably also really good against nurses and even abstract daddies, probably. Lying figures just surprisingly make it a bit of a problem to use. I'm actually really surprised by that. The wall in the apartment says dragon! Silent Hill's after me! So here we come to the first major puzzle of the game, and the first one to have any differences in higher puzzle difficulty modes, though it's not too much of a difference. Really, the only difference in the clock puzzle is the memo that hints to you about what the names mean. Three needles stand of three different heights, the fat, the tall, and the thin. From slow to fast they move to the right. Scott rests not on 3, but 15. Basically all this is telling us is, it's telling us about the clock hands. The fat being the hour hand, the tall being the minute hand, and the thin being the second hand, moving from slow to fast. Scott, representing the second hand, is always resting on the 3 on the clock face. You can't even move that one, so all it's hinting at you there is that it's 15 seconds, not 3 o'clock. That memo remains the same for all the difficulty modes beyond easy. However, it does not change the puzzle itself. The clock hands are still shown at being at the same spot, essentially 9-10, somewhere around there. So once you have the clock key, all you have to do is open up the clock and set the time. And pretty much that's all there is to it, so this particular puzzle I don't think we even need to look at in the other difficulty modes, so that's one less thing to have to do. Alright, so now that we've crossed over to the Blue Creek Apartments, we can start talking about the requirements for the current ending I'm going for. You can start going for this ending as soon as you have the meeting with Angela, in which you retrieve her knife. Remember how for the first ending I was going for, I had to keep looking at Mary's photo and letter? For this one, you want to keep examining the knife. The blade is stained with something red. It's a knife from Angela. I don't plan on using this as a weapon. Note that particular classification there. It doesn't say he doesn't plan on using it, period. Just that he doesn't plan on using it as a weapon. Yeah. Also notable, for this particular ending, you want to actually keep your health fairly low. Don't recover too quickly. Try and stay out of the green, actually. And playing on hard mode, they make that part of the requirement fairly easy. So here's the next puzzle we need to solve, the coin puzzle in Blue Creek Apartments. On normal difficulty puzzle mode, the riddle has completely changed, as has the solution. So here we go. 3 bright coins in 5 holes be. At one end sits the seducer of she. The wind from behind the woman doth play. The formless one, null, lies furthest from they. The old one beside the serpent sits not. 'Tis to the prisoner's left that he doth rot. And as usual we have our 5 holes and the 3 coins in our inventory. So let's go through this piece by piece. At one end sits the seducer of she. This is referring to the snake. It's referencing the whole Adam and Eve thing and the temptation of the serpent. So this is telling us that the snake sits all the way at one end, either furthest left or furthest right. The wind from behind the woman doth play. The woman they're referring to here is the prisoner. If you look at that coin, it's a female figure. Furthermore, if you look at this coin, the figure is facing toward the left. What this is telling us is the wind from behind the woman doth play. This means there's wind behind the woman. In other words, there's a gap behind the prisoner, so the prisoner has a gap to the right. The formless one, null, lies furthest from they, meaning that everything we've talked about so far, the prisoner, a gap, and the serpent, there's an empty space all the way on the opposite side from them. The old one beside the serpent sits not, basically just telling us that the old man does not sit next to the snake. 'Tis to the prisoner's left that he doth rot, meaning that the old man is on the prisoner's left. So from this we can deduce the solution. So let's have a look at our coins. Just proof of concept here about the prisoner coin. This prisoner looks like a woman, and if you look closely you can see that she's facing toward the left. So, there's a gap to her right, and the old man to her left. Once you start piecing everything together, the prisoner has to go right in the center. The riddle then explicitly states that the old man is to her left. This just leaves the snake coin. Now, we know from the riddle that the snake does not sit next to the old man, and in fact, the prisoner, has null farthest from her, so this would be the null in question. There's also wind playing from behind her back, which would be here. That just leaves the far right for the snake. With that, the puzzle is solved, and we get the Linehouse key. Splendid! Okay, this was a request from Shagg. I don't see this going too well, but let's see what it does. Oh, let go, let go, let go. Man, yeah, on hard mode, Pyramid Head is fast. Frighteningly so. Gods, even with that. Yeah, that went about as well as I expected it to. Okay, Pyramid Head on hard. Not to be trifled with. Oh my gods. Yeah. Freaking baggage. This'll teach you to get in my way. Next time I'm fighting, back off! Oh, what? Game over? Oh, I see how it is. You'll let Pyramid Head kill you any time he wants, but not James Sunderland. No. I thought we had something special. As horrible as the chainsaw is against lying figures, that's how good it is against nurses. You want to let them approach you. Let her attack twice, then jab, and then stomp. That's all there is to it. So, obviously the nurses, they can be a problem in numbers, but there is something odd to note about that. Depending on just how crowded a place gets with nurses, they can actually attack each other. Apparently there's no friendly fire between them, though using the chainsaw against them in groups, that can be a bit risky. If at all possible, let them come to you one-on-one, let them start attacking you, and as soon as they start that second attack, that's when you need to jab with the chainsaw, and they go down pretty easy. So, it's nice to know the chainsaw at least works well on something. So, something in my previous run that people were wondering why I didn't do was reading the journal up here on the hospital roof. The thing is, this does help influence which ending you get, and well, this time I am going for the ending influenced by this thing, so let's have a look at it, shall we? There's something on the floor. Is this a diary? May 9th. Rain. Stared out the window all day. Peaceful here. Nothing to do. Still not allowed to go outside. May 10th. Still raining. Talked with the doctor a little. Would they have saved me if I didn't have a family to feed? I know I'm pathetic, weak. Not everyone can be strong. May 11th. Rain again. The meds make me feel sick today. If I'm only better when I'm drugged, then who am I anyway? May 12th. Rain as usual. I don't want to cause any more trouble for anyone, but I'm a bother either way. Can it really be such a sin to run instead of fight? Some people may say so, but they don't have to live in my shoes. It may be selfish, but it's what I want. It's too hard like this. It's just too hard. May 13th. It's clear outside. The doctors told me I've been released, that I've got to go home. The diary ends here. There are no more entries. What was a diary doing up here? Obviously, whoever wrote it was a bit troubled by something. Not really happy with their lot in life, not really sure what they were doing. My goodness, look at that knife. So I was actually asked to show this. Apparently there is a special death animation if Fleshlips kills you. Also a bit of a demonstration that the chainsaw seems to be absolutely worthless against them. But anyway, if you just let one strangle you, which actually seems to take a surprisingly long time, yeah, that's kind of creepy. So, there you go, special death animation. Yay? So the next major puzzle we come across is actually the optional puzzle, the trick-or-treat box. The one notable thing here is this one actually does not change at all between difficulty levels. The answers are always the same, and the questions are always the same. But there is the question of just what happens if you don't quite get it right. Let's see here. Yeah, the first one was Lakeside Amusement Park. The Serial Killer. That was Scott Fairbanks, right? And Nathan Avenue. Oops. Yeah, that would be your punishment. If you get the questions wrong, you are reduced to immediately panicky, strong red pulsing critical health, as in a mosquito bites you, you're going to die. Not good, that. Knife!